sweet. I actually read. Hi friends, and welcome back to another reading vlog. In this vlog, I'm going to be reading 2024 romance releases with all of you, and I'm so excited to get into these books. It is a slightly longer weekend for me. I took Monday off because I just need a mental get your life together health day, and I'm hoping that the additional day buffer will give me a little bit more cushion to maybe do some more reading. Let's get into the TBR. I will start with the book that I'm already reading. On my Kindle right now, I am reading King of Sloth by Anna Huang. This is the fourth book in the Kings of Sin series. So I'm 4 books in, so I've really enjoyed the series. So in this book, we follow Sloane and Xavier. Sloane we've known through all the prior books. She is a publicist. She is all business. Like, she is very much like a boss. She's notorious, and this pops up in the other books as well, but it's not a spoiler. Sloane is known to like hate watch rom-coms, so she will like watch the movie and then she has a journal where she like leaves a review about why it's so stupid and why it's unrealistic, all that good stuff. So obviously, like, Sloane keeping a media journal like speaks to me. And then we have Xavier, who is like a notorious, he's known as a party boy and like kind of irresponsible, but he is a billionaire. He is the heir to, like, his family has I think it's a beer, I don't know if it's all liquor or just beer, but like a beer company that is like super successful, and he is the heir to a massive fortune. It is a reverse Grumpy Sunshine, where Sloane is the grump and Xavier is the sunshine, and I'm about 75% of the way through with it, and like I said, I'm really liking it. I think I can finish it tonight according to Candisha. I have 2 hours and 8 minutes left in the book, which I will take as a personal challenge to finish before I go to bed tonight, so that in the morning I can start one of the other books on my TBR. So let's get into all those other books. This one, Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. I know that this is a lot of people's favorite book of the year. One of my good friends, Phoebe, said this is one of her favorite releases of the year so far. So people I trust say it's really good, and I'm going to take their word for it. This one I've heard mixed things about, and that is Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. I think I talked about some of the mixed reviews that I've heard about this one in a previous vlog when I hauled it, so I will link my most recent vlog below. But it is about a plus-size woman who is just like fed up with the apps and dating, and she has a one-night stand with her ex-boyfriend that like makes her realize that if she wants to have a serious relationship, she has to like change her approach to dating. And I feel like this one is going to be super triggering, but also it sounds like it could be a really good read. I've read the first chapter already, and I know it starts off very spicy. I think the spice of all these books is going to be all over the place. I can't believe in 2024 they're still putting stickers on these books. Like, I've been watching a lot of reading vlogs lately, and Collide by Balcabra has come up a lot. Now, I don't read a ton of sports romances, and I feel like the ones that I have read, I read one hockey romance that I think it was just like, it was very spicy and I had fun, but I don't know that I was like, oh, I love that. This is another hockey romance, but I feel like the people who I've seen read and review it are saying that they're having a good time with the girl, so I'm gonna try to also have a good time with the girl. This book follows a girl named Summer who is in a graduate program, and she's working on a research project, and the main male love interest is the captain of the hockey team, and something happens where he gets the team in trouble, or he gets in trouble, and as a punishment he has to work with Summer as a part of like a student research project. So they collide. Oh my god, I didn't even try when they have to work on this project together. I don't know if it's rivals to lover, but I know that they like have some tension in the beginning and then they find their way. Yet another sticker. I put a question box on my Instagram story and I asked you all, what has been your favorite 2024 romance release of the year? I had to pick a top 3. Number 1 was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which again, if you watch my earlier vlogs, you know I absolutely ate that book up. And then the second book that was probably the most mentioned was This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, another book that I literally like think about random passages from on a random Tuesday. Third book was one that honestly was not on my radar, and it's How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwang. This one I think got mentioned at least like maybe 10 or 12 times. I'm gonna take your word for it and hope that you don't steer me wrong. I feel really good about this stack. Can't forget Candisha. I'm going to work on continuing King of Sloth, and I will report back once I have a reading update. Ignore the tooth space. Wow. Wake up, Amber. Ignore the toothpaste stain. On my tank top, I am having a very unaesthetic morning. I slept sleeping a little bit because I definitely stayed up way too late reading, so I'll start with the reading updates. Before I get into what I've finished, what I started, I want to talk about the flaw in my TBR. So I originally had my book stack, and in my stack was Collide by Cabra, which I had been seeing in recent reading vlogs and thinking that that was the book, the first book in that series that got released earlier this year. And then I was confused because I was like, oh, the second book comes out this year too. Like, it's really rare for a whole series to like publish in the same year. And then I would realize Collide actually published in 2023. So that is no longer a contender to be read in this vlog. I'm replacing it with another book that was already on my TBR, and that is A Love Like the Sun by Rhys M. Nelson. Another romance. It was released in June of this year, so definitely a contender. I finished on my Kindle, actually on my Kindle combined with the audiobook. I listened to it while I was reading on my Kindle, which I've really been enjoying doing that more and more, of King of Sloth last night. I finished it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. The whole time I was reading it, I was switching between the Kindle and the audio for certain parts, and the main male character, his name is what I thought was, and I think I even said in this vlog, Xavier, because it's Xavier, Xavier. That is what I've always known to be Xavier. As I'm listening to the audio, the narrator keeps saying Javier, and I'm like, who is Javier? Are they telling me that the audiobook changed the main male character's name, or are they telling me that Javier is also spelled with an X? Because I've never seen Javier spelled with an X. I don't not believe it. I've just never seen it. So that threw me for a loop, but I really enjoyed this book. I did think a lot in the end, like compared to some of the other books where there's like a B plot that usually involves some kind of like takedown or big thing, because these are like billionaires, so it's always some kind of like corruption, collusion, something like that. I did feel like this one kind of like wrapped very conveniently, which isn't what I typically expect from Anna Huang's book in this series, at least. So that to me was kind of like a little bit of a letdown, but otherwise I really enjoyed the love story. I related a lot to both of the characters, so I think that's why it was so easy for me to get through the book so quickly. I pretty much read it in like 2 days. I thought the pacing was really good. It didn't feel super long. Like, it's 468 pages, but it didn't feel like 468 pages. And overall, I think if I was ranking like all 4 that are released in the series so far, this would probably be my second favorite after the first one. So I'd probably rank them 1, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. I can't remember what all the kings are. And then I started How to End a Love Story in the physical copy. I read that much of the book before I went to bed, which is about 5 chapters and 40 pages. And already I can understand why this is so many of your favorite book released this year so far, because the writing is just like perfection. Even just 40 pages in, the writing is incredibly funny. Like, it's witty. And I still have not read the synopsis, and I'm not 100% sure what the book is about, but I have some concerns because it starts off on a very, I don't want to call it a dark note because it's actually like a very funny scene, but it starts off with like a very serious topic, like something very serious and very sad and tragic has happened. I don't like when we start where that's where they are and then we have to like take them from there. It's just that. So I'm nervous about how we get these people from where they are to being in love. But I like the writing enough that I feel like I can trust this author to take me on a journey. So right now I'm actually going to take a reading break because I need to do a little bit of editing so I can get tomorrow's video up for you all. And then I'm gonna head over to the farmer's market. I wanna pick up some things for me, and I also wanna grab something for a friend who I'm gonna go see later today. So I probably won't get any reading done unless I switch to the audiobook until like later this afternoon. But I will check in once I have a few more pages read and more to say about this book.
Crown, that's a jam, that's a jam.
Hello. It is currently 10:38 p.m. I ran around all day. I got a bunch of errands done. I got a lot of steps in today, and I got to go spend time with my friend. I picked up a pie for her at the farmer's market because she just had surgery and she loves pie, so she deserved pie. And in my mind, I was gonna have so much time to like do all the things today and then come back and get a lot of reading done, but in reality I just did all the things and I am exhausted. I came home, ate dinner, kind of crashed, and then just did some last minute stuff to get tomorrow's video up on the channel. So hopefully you're watching that vlog. So I have not read a single page today. I'm at the same point in How to End a Love Story that I was when I checked in this morning. To be honest, I think I'll read a little bit before I go to bed, but I don't know. But currently, what I am doing, I am surrounded by my Kindles. Why do I have 3 Kindles? Unfortunately, I won't be taking questions at this time. I ordered some new decals for my Kindles because I love a cute decal. Here is the shop info if you're in the market for Kindle decals. So this is my first time ever ordering from them. Typically what I do is I will find a pattern that I really like, and then I order the decal from Decal Girl. I just like feeling these, I'm already like concerned just because these feel like very thick. So we'll see how I like these compared to other Kindle decals I've ordered. My Oasis has had this like fall pumpkin-y decal on it, like floral situation, since I got it basically. So I got this green and white flower, which I thought was really cute. That's the back. This is the front. The decals are all super easy to put on. Like they go on literally like stickers. And for my baby Kindle, I got, which has never had a decal, I got this like greenish Victorian looking floral pattern, which I thought was really cute. I obviously, can you tell green is my favorite color? And for my paperweight, I got this like very adorable bee. It has like bees and lemons and flowers, and the reason that I only got the front for that is because I have the Kindle Paperwhite in sage green. Right now it's in this cute case that a Likely Story Co. very kindly sent to me for just to try out. It has these like papaya pears on it, which I think is adorable. So I've been using cases like this, which are great because they have a cover. So it's nice if you're gonna just like throw your Kindle in a bag or if you're traveling a lot. But I think I am back in my clear case era. So I'm gonna put a clear case on it, and my Kindle Paperwhite is green on the back. So I figured I would just get the front decal and then you could see the back, and I might add like some stickers or something. But I really just like I thought it was cute for summer, and I haven't seen a ton of shops do that setup where you can only buy just the front or just the back, because I know some people really like the black Kindle front and they just want to get a little something for the back. So I love that you have the option. I also got a bookmark. This one has like spicy chili peppers, aka like the spice of your book. I thought that was really cute. So all I have the energy to do is to put these decals on my Kindles. A little wardrobe change for the Kindles. Big shock, I'm still watching Making the Team. I'm on season 12 and I just got past the part with the Holly controversy. I wish that this show went more in depth into the lives of the girls like the Netflix show did, because I would love to have heard like what happened to her after all that went down. If I haven't convinced you to start watching this show yet, here's another plug. friends. It is like 12:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, easing into this very slow Sunday because I'm off work tomorrow. I don't feel the pressure to like set up the whole week today, so I feel good. We feel good. So far today, I've read 3 more chapters in How to End a Love Story, and I'm still really liking it. I think the writing in this book is just like very, very well done. The way that the story is being told, it's not a style that is typical in romance, and that it's not heavily dialogue driven. It's driven a lot by not just the main characters, but the side characters and how everyone's interacting and how people are reacting to everyone's behaviors and things in the story. So I'm liking it. I'm not like loving it as much as I wanted to, only because I think I'm still hung up on, I know I talked about this before, the way that the 2 main characters are connected is that there was a tragic event that has brought them into each other's worlds more. I won't say what it is. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but to like help break it down a little bit, they went to high school together. This tragic event happens when they're in high school. They're both like just deeply connected to this tragic event, and one person is like at fault in the event, like the male main character. Anyway, so I think because of that and like knowing the role that they both have in this event, I cannot wrap my mind around how these 2 are going to end up together, and I can't see anything that happens between them as romantic. Now, they both have a lot of personal trauma, anxiety issues that stem from this tragic event. So I am excited to understand how both of them in this new stage of life, because the book is set 11 years after that tragic event happened to them in high school. So they're like in their late 20s, 30s. I'm excited to see how they're able to progress as people, because they both do seem like such like little delicate flowers. Like our main female character, Helen, she definitely is like the ultimate eldest daughter. She's so hung up on achievement. It's so hard for her to like relax and go with the flow and be present and like feel accepted in a room of people, because she's always in her head thinking about like, how do I achieve? How do I do the best job possible? How do I win? And I relate to that so much as an eldest daughter. And then our main male character, whose name I'm blanking on, why am I forgetting his name? Grant. He is like very impacted by this traumatic event that's happened to him, even in adulthood. He has a lot of anxiety, but he's very like social and personable. So they both have this like cloud of anxiety over them, but their personalities are kind of like yin and yang. But I'm just like, I don't think you guys should, like, you guys should be friends maybe, and you should like work through these things. But I don't know if y'all should date. I don't know. So I'm only 72 pages in. So I still have like, what, like less than 300 pages to be convinced that these people belong together. So we'll see if I get there. Right now I have like stacks of books behind me on my floor, because I'm working on getting books posted onto my Pango bookshop. If you're not familiar, Pango is an app where you can like buy and sell used, or I guess brand new if you're just like have a bunch of brand new books, books where people can just like shop, browse, like get discounts. I've been working like mentally and physically on decluttering, and I just know I have a lot of books in here that I could definitely part with. So I have one stack that I will be like just making trips to different little free libraries to make donations for, and then I have another stack of books that I want to put on Pango first, just to see if I can like get them out of here that way. So while I do that, I'm going to switch to the audiobook of How to End a Love Story and listen for a little bit. And then I should have done this earlier because I wasn't thinking about how hot it's going to be today, but I do want to get some steps in and take like a little walk later. So I will probably do this for a while and then head outside, do a little walk. I have like 2 quick errands I need to run, so I'll run those while still listening to the audiobook, see how far I get. I might even take myself to lunch. It feels like a day that I deserve that. I don't know. We'll see where we end up. I am now 130 pages into How to End a Love Story. I listened to the audiobook while I did all of my Pango listings and vacuumed a bit, and I'm going to include some spoiler bits here, but I will mark them all on screen in case you don't want to be spoiled for this book, because I am still really enjoying but really struggling with this book, and I think I know why. I just don't know what I want to do about it. So this is still non-spoiler. At this point in the book, their like relationship has taken the turn where it's clear that we're like inching towards the romance. At 130 pages in, I wouldn't necessarily call it a slow burn, but like because of the situation that they're in, it's going to take them a second to be able to like even like respond to feelings. Like there have been some points now where like one of them is noticing how attractive the other is, or like having physical responses, but like no one's having the emotional feels yet because we're still pretty early in, and they have a lot, like I said, to overcome. I truly don't understand how we're getting there, but okay. So here is where I think I'm struggling the most, still non-spoiler. I wanted to go into this weekend and just be like swooning over sweet, cute, fluffy romance. Like that's what I thought my whole weekend was going to be. I think I gravitated towards this one first, one because so many of y'all told me it was your favorite book of the summer or 2024 so far. And because like when you look at a cover like this, it looks like a cute, sweet, fluffy romance. It has a lot of my favorite tropes. It has a lot of stuff that typically works for me. I love forced proximity. I love when like rivals become lovers. You know, my favorite part of the story is when the rivals become lovers. I live for that. But I just can't see, this does not feel romantic to me. It feels beautiful. I love the forgiveness aspect of it. I really love these characters. Like Helen, our main character, she is the daughter of, I don't think her parents are, it doesn't like explicitly say, I don't think that they're immigrants, but she's Chinese, and she talks a lot about like as their daughter and like being their oldest daughter, how she has to basically create like a highlight reel of her life, like the parents' version of her life that she presents to them, that takes out anything that can be difficult. Like she doesn't bring boyfriends home to meet her family because she doesn't want the burden of having to like explain a breakup or explain like a failed relationship, or she only tells them like basically the highlights. Like she doesn't tell them when she's having trouble meeting friends in a new city or getting acclimated at a job, only the good things that she knows they'll be proud of and that won't cause them any anxiety. I think lots of people can relate to that, like having to create a version of your life that is very shielded or censored for your parents. And I think that, again, the writing in this book is really strong. I really enjoy Yulin Kwang's writing. I think that I understand why people love this book. But here's where I'm going to get into the spoiler discussion. So I'm going to put an emoji on screen, and until you see this emoji go away, I'm sharing things that could potentially spoil this book. So what we learn, literally page 1, paragraph 1, chapter 1, is that Helen's sister Michelle has died. And by the end of chapter 1, we learn that the reason that Michelle is dead is because Grant, the main character, killed her. Granted, you also very quickly learn that it seems that Michelle took her own life and that she ran in front of a car. It could have been anyone's car, but it happened to be Grant's car. And in the very first chapter of the book, Grant is coming to pay his respects at Michelle's funeral, and Helen and her family kick him out of the funeral, ask him to leave. Completely understandable. So I'm really struggling to understand how we go from you are the reason my sister is no longer here to you are the person that I want to be in love with. Like, I think that there's a lot to be said for like, I guess, the forgiveness aspect and like learning to move on and finding acceptance in unexpected places and like learning to heal, like all of that. I'm here for all of that. But I just like, that seems like a really big hurdle, and I think I struggle in books where and I think this happens a lot in rivals to lovers, where with enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers, they have to be rivals because of something that is relatively petty, in my opinion. Like, I can't dislike you because of real trauma that you've caused me or real harm that you've done to me, and now I'm like able to be vulnerable enough with you that we're able to like sleep together and go on date. Like, I don't see how we're gonna get there. And the more that they start to have those like warm fuzzies toward each other, the more I'm like, I think you guys would be great friends. I think it would be cool if when you come home for the holidays and you live in the same small town, you can see each other at the bagel store and be like, oh hey, good morning, hope everything's well with you. I don't think you guys need to like touch parts and be in love at this point. Part of me is wondering if this is one of the cases where the book is like shelved as romance and pegged as a romance, but it's actually just contemporary fiction and like the romance isn't the point, which is fine. I'm here for a good like contemporary novel, but that's just like not what I want to be reading right now. So part of me is like, do I switch and pivot? And I hope you all know by now, I am very pro DNFing books. I'm all about the switch up, but I don't know if I'm giving up too quickly yet. I mean, I'm 131 pages in, and like I said, I am really enjoying the book. Like, I think this writing is stunning. Like, I could still see myself giving the book like a good rating for everything but the romance. These are the two books I still have physically here that I could switch up that were on my TBR for this. Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto and Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. I think I also have like very specific tropes in mind right now that I want. Like, I would love a good Rivals to Lovers. I would love a good, I'm like not as big on second chance romance, but I'm getting there. I need to swoon, and this, I'm not gonna swoon for these two. I thought this was gonna be a really easy, like, straightforward vlog. I did not think we were gonna have these existential crises. Okay, so right now two things need to happen. I need to start a different book, apparently, and I need to feed myself because I've not really eaten today, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow, it's exactly 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hey, how have you been? I'm doing better. Don't waste my time like when you were mine. What a shame. I thought a NyQuil could work things around. Fuck you now. My therapist said it's so bad for me to cold, for me to fight.
Don't hit my line, don't hit my home, don't hit my cell, don't hit my phone, don't hit me up when you out when you see him. He can go cry when I react as DM. He can go die in a...
Don't judge me. I look like I just woke up because I kind of did. So that's that. I have a reading update. I started Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. And after reading 130 plus pages of How to End a Love Story and just not having anything that I wanted, within the first like 60 pages of this, I had the exact feeling that I wanted from spending my weekend reading romance. So I wish I would have picked this up before Sunday. To give a little overview into the story and like what we're dealing with, this book is about two classical musicians, and they both perform in the Manhattan Pops Orchestra. And the first chair violin seat becomes open, and our main character Gwen is up to take first chair, which is really exciting. Gwen has really been through. She lost her mother to breast cancer and then went to live with her grandfather, who then also passes away. So like, she has a lot of loss. She's an orphan. She doesn't know who her dad is. She learns how to play violin very late for someone who's as talented as she is. She's basically like prodigy level, even though she didn't pick up a violin until like much later in her like adolescence. And then we have Xander, who like is a legit child prodigy, but he plays now in a band that does like their twist on like modern music with like a classical spin, and he's like super famous and has played in the orchestra with Gwen for over a year and has never noticed her because she's very good at just like blending in. But now that this first chair seat has become a thing and she is going to possibly like take the first chair, I'm not giving no spoilers. Now they're rivals, and you know, what did I just say? When the rivals become lovers, it is my favorite thing. And this, the way that their love story First of all, I will be reading more Julie Soto because I think that her writing, one, is incredibly strong, and I think that that's what makes this love story so much better. So before they fall for each other, they fall for each other musically. And Gwen, there's a scene like in the very start of the book where Gwen is playing at a wedding and she has to do a little bit of like improvisation, and that's the first time he really like hears her, because any other time they would have played in the same areas together, it would have been with an orchestra where she's blending in. And so you can kind of feel it's all told from Gwen's point of view, but then we get these like very small, like very short chapters of Xander's POV, and they're actually not even called chapters. They're called like cello suite number 1, which I'm not a classical music girly, but I'm assuming that that's what you would call like a piece of music for cello. So we mostly get Gwen's POV, but we get very small glimpses into Xander's like emotional state and mental state, and when he starts to fall, it's definitely trope wise like rivals to lovers for sure. He falls first, and it's I guess, and also forced proximity, which honestly all my boxes are getting checked off of one book. Why didn't you tell me to read this on Friday? I'm gonna probably go to lunch with my best friend and her mom later. It's her mom's birthday tomorrow, but I will probably finish this and maybe even start something else. Pleasantly surprised. Right now this is landing in like 4 to 4.5 star territory for me. I'm very excited to see how it ends. There's definitely like a lot of plotting as well, and there's someone who I'm pretty sure is going to be outed as like the villain. Like I just get bad vibes about this person, and I want my suspicions to be confirmed. So I will check in once I have another reading update. Hello. I have been out and about all afternoon. We had a great time. I'm very full and tired and ready to get back into some reading. Before I left, I like read a few more chapters and I put the audiobook on while I was getting ready. Right now I'm on page 346, and there are I think like 368 pages, so I have this much left to go. So we're gonna sit and finish the book. I have really enjoyed reading this. I'm excited to see how we tie everything up in a neat little bow. I was right about one of the people who I thought was a villain. They were indeed a villain. And there was another villain who I had suspicions of but didn't really see coming. So I'm excited to see how everyone also gets their comeuppance in the next 20 so pages. So let's finish this book. So sweet. That was really sweet. That last line was just very, very sweet. I'm gonna read the last line again. I think my final rating, like immediate, literally just close the book reaction, final rating is to give this 4 stars. I thought this was really strong. I really enjoyed the writing. I thought the characters were well done. I love that all of the side characters felt like they had a specific purpose in the story, which I feel like when you have a cast of characters like Xander, well, I'm gonna call him Alex now. Alex is in a band, so it could have been really easy to just like make everyone inconsequential, but everyone had a job in this book and everyone did their job, and I appreciate that. Also, can we talk about the fact that my nails match the font that the author's name is in? Coordination. But yeah, I think the only reason I'm not even bumping this to a 4.5 star is I do think I could see, no, I did feel like at parts it felt like the romance was a little insta-lovey, and I'm just not here for, like, they should have had more of a progression, but it's not insta-lovey to the point where he like sees her on a subway and then like it's like I must have her. But I think that their romance, it just like goes really quickly, it develops really quickly. But I think that the writing and the way that the musical aspects of this are intertwined, and like the chemistry of 2 musicians and the music that they make, how that relates back to the couple that they are, I think that is done in a way that just makes it work. So it is like a little bit insta-lovey, but like in a way that's done really, really well. So I'm not taking points off. I'm just not giving more points to the board because of it. Good morning. Why is it that as an adult, if you take a day off of work and then you go back to work, that day back is just like the hardest day. Like you haven't done it a million days before every other day. But that was my yesterday. By the time I got home, I was exhausted. I don't even know what I did when I came home yesterday. Which is why I'm getting a slower and later start today. It's almost 9. I'm about to hop on my laptop. I have an early meeting this morning too at 9:30, so I'm trying to get some caffeine in, but I wanted to give you all a reading update. So after I finished Not Another Love Song, I did start Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen, and I've only gotten 62 pages in so far, mostly because I started this, like, I read a few chapters before bed on Monday night. I read a little bit on my way to work yesterday, and then I read before I went to bed, but I was so tired. I was like literally reading it on my Kindle, and my Kindle is like falling into the bed because I was half asleep. So I haven't gotten super far, but I'm hoping to make a bit of a dent in this today. But so far I am enjoying it. The story is about our main character, Aaliyah, which is also throwing me because my baby sister's name is Aaliyah. She's not a baby, but she's my baby sister. And she is a plus size woman who is very confident in herself and her body. Like, she knows she's very fine. But her family has expressed to her that they're concerned that she's almost 30, not in a relationship, not anywhere near having kids. And then one of her family members also expresses that, like, he's concerned that because of her size, she's never going to be able to find happiness. But Aaliyah knows that she does want to date. She doesn't want to date. She just knows she wants to be married. She wants to have a partner. But she knows that dating is just like the ghetto. I'm really relating to the story. I like the pacing so far. Lots of like witty banter and witty dialogue with the characters, which I appreciate. So hopefully when I pause for lunch today, I can read a little bit more. I sold one of my books on Pango, so I want to go and mail that out today too, so that that person can have their book. Hello, I look crazy. I've not read any more pages, and I am eating grapes, and my grapes are taking up the frame. Did I read while I ate lunch today? No. Did I eat lunch today? Also no. Does my hair look crazy? Absolutely yes. Was it a good day? Sure. I did go to the library today. So when I was not eating lunch, I went to the post office to drop off my Pango package. So I hope, Erica, you enjoy your book. And I went to my library, not because I had anything to pick up, but because I tried to place a hold on a book, and the library system told me I was barred from checking out books. So I was like, am I banned from the library? I'm not banned from the library. While I was there and I got that issue fixed, I just get a new library card. I picked up 2 books. The first book I picked up was Once More with Feeling by Elisa Sussman. I really enjoyed her first book. I think, yeah, Funny You Should Ask, I think was the first one. I really like the cover styles that she gets. I've heard mixed things about it. I know that the first one follows like a girl who ends up falling for a celebrity. I think this might be similar, but I felt like just because I've heard mixed reviews and because I was there, honestly, I was like, I'll just check it out at the library and see what's tea with that. In the same vein, I picked up Rules of Engagement by Selena Montgomery, aka Stacey Abrams. I have wanted to get my hands on a Stacey Abrams book for so long, and I feel like even like in the rise of her popularity, it's very hard to find a Selena Montgomery book. Like, where are the books? Okay, so our main character is a spy working undercover. She's infiltrating a terrorist group. The stolen lethal environment. I did not read the synopsis. Now, I did look it up on Goodreads just to make sure that it wasn't like the 3rd book in a series or something, and it's not. It's a standalone, but it has like a 3.2 rating on Goodreads, which is like not bad, but it's also like it's low for Goodreads. Let's talk about the things that I actually read in this video. So we started with How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwong, and I still have not read any more of this book. I'm still on the 130 page mark, which is 12 chapters in, but it's like a little bit more than a third, I think I would say I read of this book, like a third. And I think eventually I will pick this back up when I'm just in the mood for like emotional contemporary, because I think that that's what this would classify as more than I would classify it as a romance based on what I've read and knowing the setup for the story. I think that the character development in this, in the pages that I read, was pretty strong. I was invested in them and like wanting to get to know them and understand how they were going to go from where they were in their current states to later in the book. But I just don't see, with the conflict that was presented to us, how this can be resolved through romance. I don't think these people should touch parts. I just don't. Then I read Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto, which I gave 4 stars, but after thinking about it a little bit more, I've decided to bump this up to a 4.5 star. It's not quite a 5-star read for me, but I really enjoyed this book. I thought that the writing was very, very strong. The story is really well paced, so you don't feel like it's dragging. I think that Julie did a great job of bringing us into the world of classical music in a way that is really entertaining. I'm not someone who's like a big classical music fan, but I think if you just enjoy music, understanding how you get caught up in song and how the romance of that can lead to the romance of real love, she did a great job of stringing that all together. I love the banter. I love the witty lines. Like, I think this is a really solid 4.5-star read. My current read, Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen, which is about a plus-size woman who is trying to date to get a date to her 30th birthday party. I think that the writing is fine. The banter is definitely witty and funny. Like, there is a scene that I read in the chapter that I read last night where our main character Aaliyah is at a bar and she has like a really funny exchange with the bartender. Like, I love that kind of stuff in books. I feel like that's what keeps us reading and it keeps us engaged. I'm definitely going to keep reading and probably finish this before the weekend so that I can, one, stay ahead of my Goodreads goal. This is the first time I've been ahead in my Goodreads goal since like January 2nd. But also because I'm enjoying this and I really do want to see like where I fall, just knowing that the reviews for this have been a little mixed. Overall, I read 3 newly released romances over this past, 5 days. I'm really loved one. This one I'm not sure is gonna hit as a romance for me, but this one I feel has a lot of potential and promise, so I'm excited to keep reading. If you have read a bunch of new romances that came out this year, let me know what your favorite has been. I've read a good amount of new releases this year, not a ton, but a good amount, especially in the romance genre, so I'm very curious to see which books that I enjoyed are gonna end up on the Goodreads Choice Awards this year. I think we all know that the Goodreads Choice Awards are deeply flawed and a little misguided, but it's fun, so we'll have fun. If you made it to this point in the video, one, thank you for looking at my little like gremlin hair right now, but also thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I will see you all in the next one.
Hey, how have you been? I'm doing better. I don't waste my time like when you were mine.